Let's get right into it. If you're watching this explainer, there's a really good chance you're staring at your screen right now feeling, well, completely overwhelmed, maybe even a little defeated by a wall of code that just absolutely refuses to work. I want to start by validating that exact frustration. It is incredibly common to feel like you're slamming your head into a brick wall when you're trying to learn programming. I mean, that blinking cursor, it can feel like it's literally mocking you. And it's so natural to start questioning your own abilities. But take a deep breath, because today we're going to unpack exactly why that's happening. And I promise you, it's really not what you think. Before we go even one step further, I need you to completely internalize this idea. The problem is not that you aren't smart enough. So many aspiring developers, they quit way too early because they internalize their struggles as some sort of lack of raw intelligence. They think, oh, there's some secret math gene I was just born without. But the data, and honestly, the experience across the entire tech industry tells a totally different story. The true culprit, the actual reason you're failing to gain traction right now is simply that you're learning things in the wrong order. You've got the exact right engine, you're just kind of trying to drive the car backwards. Okay, let's dive into this. If the traditional way you've been doing it is the wrong order, what is the right one, right? To get there, we really need to transition away from passive consumption. Look, watching hours of video, it feels comfortable, sure, but it's ultimately pretty ineffective for mastering a skill like this. Instead, we're going to systematically dismantle those old habits holding you back and replace them with a highly practical roadmap, straight from our source material, that actually builds real, tangible programming competence. So, the first crucial trap you've got to avoid is the cycle of endless tutorials. I mean, we all know the absolute exhaustion of what developers call tutorial hell. You know the place? It's that warm, cozy spot where an instructor writes the code, you copy it character for character, it runs perfectly, and boom, you feel like an absolute genius. But the very second you open a blank document and try to build something on your own, your mind just goes completely blank. It's a trap. You absolutely must break out of that loop. Shift your focus and start building small projects instead. And I mean small. They don't have to be the next major social media platform. Just build a simple calculator or, a basic to-do list. Just build something tiny without a safety net and watch how much faster your brain is forced to actually adapt. Which leads us directly into our next major pitfall, choosing to memorize syntax instead of truly understanding the logic. Trying to memorize every single line of code, every bracket, every stray semicolon. Honestly, it's a massive waste of your cognitive energy. It's literally like trying to memorize the entire dictionary before you ever attempt to have a basic conversation. Syntax changes, languages evolve over time, and frankly, it's just impossible to hold all of that in your head at once. What actually matters, what truly makes you a programmer, is understanding the underlying logic. Like, how does the data move from point A to point B? What's the step-by-step sequence required to actually solve this problem? Once you firmly grasp that logic, the syntax, well, that's just a minor detail you can quickly look up. Now here is the dirty little secret of the tech industry that reveals a whole lot. Yes, using Google or furiously scrolling through Stack Overflow is a fundamental, totally non-negotiable part of programming. Even senior developers, the folks making massive salaries, building those complex systems you use on your phone every single day, they are actively searching for solutions on a daily basis. They forget how to write a basic database query all the time. They'll spend 20 minutes just trying to remember how to perfectly center a div. So let this surprising fact instantly relieve all that pressure you're putting on yourself. Normalizing this means realizing that knowing how to effectively search for an answer is a far more valuable professional skill than pretending you have some flawless photographic memory. And this brings us to a massive mental shift that you just have to make. Every error message is teaching you something. Think about it like you're exploring a dark maze. You walk forward and smack, you hit a wall. Now, that wall isn't a failure. It's simply the maze telling you, hey, don't go this way, try the path to the left. That is exactly what a red error screen is doing. Beginners, they tend to panic when they see all that red text. They think they broke the computer or completely ruined the project. But those error messages, they aren't failures. They are your most direct, honest teachers. They're literally pointing out exactly where the logical gap in your instructions is, guiding your code to where it actually needs to be. So stop fearing the red text and start reading it. As we look at the actual mechanics of how we absorb all this knowledge, it is so tempting, especially when you're super busy, to just push all your learning to a Saturday, right? Just try to grind out an exhaustive 8-hour marathon coding session. But our roadmap clearly shows that just 30 minutes every single day completely beats that 8-hour weekly cram session. This is all about the immense power of consistent micro-habits. Short daily exposure keeps those complex concepts fresh in your short-term memory, and that gives your brain the necessary repetition to solidify them into long-term understanding, completely without burning you out. Which leads us to a fundamental definition that totally shifts our entire learning paradigm. Fluency is achieved by using a language, not by reading a dictionary. And programming languages are exactly that. They're languages. Think about it. You would never expect to speak fluent French just by reading a French textbook in total silence in your room, right? No way. You have to speak it out loud. You have to stumble over the pronunciation. You have to actively try to communicate. Coding is exactly the same process. It's a dynamic, expressive tool used to communicate instructions to a machine. The only way to get fluent is to get your hands dirty and actually use it to talk to the computer. And this brilliantly illustrates why we need to play the long game. Let's map it out. Your first program, it's going to be imperfect. Honestly, it's probably going to be a complete mess. Your 10th program, still imperfect, still a bit messy. We are plotting this out to set some realistic expectations for these early, messy attempts because they are absolutely necessary stepping stones. You literally cannot skip them. But by the time you stick with it and reach your 100th program, you're going to look back and be completely stunned by the incredible payoff. You'll realize just how incredibly far you've come simply because you gave yourself the grace to build, fail, and iterate over time. So the ultimate takeaway from all of this is meant to be incredibly empowering for you. Keep coding. Keep breaking things. Because remember, breaking things and then fixing them is exactly how you learn how they work in the first place. Keep learning. But as we bring this explainer to a close, I want to turn this directly over to you with a question. What is the biggest challenge you are facing in learning programming right now? Is it breaking out of the comfort of tutorial hell? Is it finding the consistency to practice for just 30 minutes a day? Take a second, think about where you're stuck, and let me know in the comments. Let's tackle that challenge together. Keep building, and I'll see you in our next explainer.